I am so excited to build my first liquid cooled PC. Wait, what?
Oh, 3080 liquid cooled PC, Ryzen 7 5800X.
Dan, wake up. Dude, it's time. I'm here.
Overslept. Let's do this. It's mother effing Christmas in July. Today we're installing the EVGA 3080 12 gig Hydro Copper for the Win 3, and we're installing the EK Quantum Velocity Ryzen Edition liquid cool CPU block. Let's get in. Here's my current setup. Here's how the PC looks. Not bad. Could be better. Let's see what we can do. got the loop complete. We had some challenges with the inverted motherboard layout and getting the runs to like match up without having a really long one across the center, which is what I had previously. But I think it looks really good. We're about to fill the loop and bleed test it for air and leaks or anything like that. So we're pretty excited with how things turned out.
Like I said, this is the first time I've been a part of a liquid cooled build. It's freaking awesome. Just gonna put that out there. Also, I knew they were hard, but I didn't realize how much work actually went into this. So I definitely have a new respect for anyone who liquid cools custom build like this. It's gorgeous. I can't wait to see it finished product once all the air bubbles get out of her, and we'll definitely be doing a follow-up to show you the final product.
And here's my setup now. What's up, nerds? The build's looking great. Thanks for sticking around this long into the video. Now it's time to get to the clickbait. Hitting #1 on Time Spy Extreme and Port Royal. Let's get it. All right, had to do a little voiceover here. Had to record it with my cell phone to keep all the CPU and GPU resources at maximum. Didn't have another computer to record this on, so I'm just doing a little voiceover here. But this is Time Spy Extreme. We have the 3080 12 gig, liquid cooled and overclocked, plus 220 on the core, plus 1200 megahertz on the memory. We're hitting about 2100 megahertz or higher on the core, but it's bouncing around, and so on average we're hitting about 2037 megahertz on this run here. The Ryzen 7 5800X is overclocked to 5.05 gigahertz. With the memory heavily tuned, we're running 3600 megahertz RAM with 16 gigs, 2 sticks, and a latency of 16. So I had to, we tuned some of the timings to try and compete with some of these guys who have everything overclocked on these leaderboards here. It's pretty crazy. I'm not anything special at overclocking or benchmarking or anything like that, but I kind of hit the silicon lottery on the GPU, and I'm trying to catch up on the CPU to compete with some of these guys on these leaderboards. It's crazy. So, this is Time Spy Extreme. It's a 4K benchmark. And the 3080 12 gig is handling it like a champ. Not only does it have 2 extra gigs in the regular 3080, but it also has faster memory. So it has 2 gigs more memory, and it's pre-overclocked higher with a higher memory bus. And so there's higher memory bandwidth, and the core is just ever so slightly bigger. A couple extra CUDA cores in there. Doesn't make a massive difference, but the memory sure does definitely make a big difference. So we have the core, the memory overclocked with the EVGA's For the Win 3 liquid cooled edition. We have it on the overclocked BIOS. We're pulling about 350 watts for the GPU. Freaking insane. So a lot of these 20 series and 30 series cards hit power limits before they hit temperature limits. And so getting a card that can draw more power, having a BIOS that allow it to draw more power than stock is kind of imperative for these kind of things, especially when you get into the heavy liquid cooling and overclocking stuff. Now, if you're not into that kind of stuff, a 3080 is a 3080, a 3090 is a 3090. They're all going to overclock. They're all going to be within, 5 to 10% of each other within games. So, like, or even less. I wouldn't even worry. Like, when everybody asks, oh, which GPU should I get? Don't even worry about it. A 3080 is a 3080. Get the cheapest one you can, unless you're trying to do stuff like this. So here's the physics benchmark for on the CPU only. It kind of chugs along, but it's supposed to just push your CPU to the extreme with all these physics calculations. So that's why it's chugging along here. Benchmark's finishing up. As you can see, it's just chugging at this point. It's doing so many physics calculations that the CPU is just like struggling. Even a 8-core 16 thread at 5.05 gigahertz. This is the worst part right here. It'll freeze up right there and you'll lose your results. It's just heartbreaking when you overclock it to the max and you get it through a run. Check that out, 9,244 points. And look at that. My score is better than the best. #1 on Time Spy Extreme. It's freaking insane. So let's head over to the leaderboards here. And you can see here, Time Spy Extreme benchmark, Rowley DM04. July 27, 2022. That's me. We have a Ryzen 5800X and a 3080 12 gig. Now, this isn't #1 overall. This is just #1 overall for the Time Spy Extreme benchmark and the NVIDIA 3080 12 gig paired with a Ryzen 7 5800X. So it's not some super crazy accomplishment. I don't liquid cool LN2 or anything like that. I don't have the budget for a $3,000 CPU, but this is still just incredible to hit these like benchmarks with just kind of off the shelf components, putting it in a liquid cooling loop. Anybody can kind of get these results at home. This isn't anything special. So extremely pleased with these results. So happy and blessed to be here. I've every time I build a new computer, I overclock it and benchmark it and see where I land on here, and never have I been in the top 100 even for my system components, and here we are sitting at #1. Freaking insane. I love it. Thanks for sticking around, guys. We got the Port Royal benchmark coming up next, so hang in tight. All right, still recording on my phone here. This is the Port Royal run and the voiceover. So Port Royal gave me a ton of challenges. Either the overclock was too high or the memory. The memory was crazy sensitive. I had to dial it way back from the Time Spy Extreme run. So right now we're looking, actually our GPU is overclocked even higher. We're talking 2.2 gigahertz. It settled in average about around 2100 megahertz here. And my CPU, I was able to bump it up just ever so slightly higher with, we're at 5.075 gigahertz here on this Port Royal run to #1. Now, the funny thing is that the run right before this one, I actually tied first place. Exact same score. Freaking unbelievable. So I had to go in, mess with some settings, just tweak the memory just ever so slightly. It was crazy because otherwise it would crash out. It was so sensitive on memory on the GPU. I think I even like went into the back into the BIOS and tried tweaking my CPU memory settings as well. All the timings, getting them kind of dialed in a little bit better. I'm not quite as good CPU wise. Of course, GPU is like pretty easy for the most part, but yeah, this one was definitely tough to get. I just saw myself just inching up closer and closer to number one until I got it. Freaking insane. So this one is the other previous one was a 4K benchmark, all inclusive. This one is more of like a ray tracing like demo build kind of thing, where it like just like showcases everything that you can do in ray tracing here. So you can see all the reflections on all the metallic surfaces, all the lighting and everything else like that. So much shorter of a benchmark, but a lot more demanding in a lot of other ways. So there it is, 13281, number one, the best. You're looking at them. Freaking incredible here. Let's get the results up here, as you can kind of see. Rowley DM04 here, number 8, number 14, 18, 19. I didn't even think I was going to be able to get this one, but I kind of slowly like put myself up, got myself on the map here. Number 8, number 4, number 3, freaking tied the score of the person that was here, and then ended up going up to number 1. So freaking incredible. Like I said, I'm in love with this EVGA for the win Hydro Copper 3080 12 gig. Hit the silicon lottery, overclocks like a freaking champ, and it wouldn't be able to push those settings without my 3 radiators that we got in the loop. Finally got the loop ironed out into a good flow. The GPU itself has a full 360 thick radiator cooling the liquid before it hits the GPU, so it's getting the freshest, coldest liquid pumped right to it, allowing itself to boost higher and stay cooler the entire time. And that's how I was able to hit these scores. Like I said, just these are all off-the-shelf components. I'm not putting an air conditioner up to any of these components here. I'm not putting it in the garage in the winter in Canada at negative 30 degrees. Just sitting in my basement on a hot summer day. And we're killing it. We're killing it out here with the hardware. So super fun. Freaking love it. I would recommend this to anybody who wants to kind of like get into PC building. And it's really cool that 3D Mark breaks everything out by components, so you're just competing with other people that have the exact kind of same system as you do, or at least the same CPU GPU combo, which are your main components here. So give it a try, see where you land, see if you can hit number 1 or get into the top 100. DM me, tag us on Twitter at True Nerds. So yeah, everybody, thanks for sticking around in the video. This video really was just supposed to be a build vlog of us upgrading my computer, and we didn't really know what to like name it or what we were going to do with like the video footage. And then once I got overclocking it and benchmarking it and saw how close I was like, oh, I know what we're doing. We're going to number 1, and we're clickbaiting the heck out of this thing. So thanks for sticking around, everybody. I'm so pumped, so excited. It was a lot of editing work. I'm not that great of an editor, but a lot of fun. And stay nerdy.